Hey, what's good, guys? My name is Chris.
And I'm Jody.
Welcome back to the Pop Culture Podcast, WearTesters Unlaced. This is obviously our video-based podcast. And yeah, we're in episode 18, I believe.
Good job.
And
you almost said that with authority.
That's because I just looked it up. So, but I also wasn't sure of what I had just read. So I feel like it's going to be kind of short and sweet because, there's not a ton of stuff. We're going to start off with sneaker news, and we're only going to talk about one pair of sneakers.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I know. Kyrie wore his upcoming, I don't know what the name of the shoe is going to be called, but I just assume it's going to be either the Kyrie 1 or the Kai 1. I'm not really sure, but it's his Anta model.
Okay. I literally went through all of the different Chinese-based model.
You don't remember who he signed with?
I was going to ask you, can you clarify for me? Because I was like, 361, leaning.
No, like he signed with Anta a little while ago. They used some clip.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what video that was from, but it was me talking about Kyrie. Oh, I think it was from the Shock the Game or whatever that shoe is that he was wearing when he first signed with the brand. And they used that in his on his official YouTube channel. It was kind of odd to see my face in his video, but whatever. But either way, the shoe itself, did you see the shoes?
I did not.
How did you not?
Because you didn't show it to me.
Okay, give me a second, you guys.
I do have some sneaker news to talk about after this, surprisingly. Okay, I did see those.
Well, before we talk about these, then let's talk about your stuff.
Oh, just that they made I guess it's like the first women's PE of the Jordan 38. I don't remember which NBA or women's NBA player. I'm pretty sure she's in the WNBA and she's not a college athlete.
They debuted in a WNBA colorway.
Okay, well then maybe
the all orange ones.
It's for a specific player though.
Yeah, they weren't a PE.
Yeah, this one's a PE.
Do you have a picture?
No, I don't. But it was really pretty. It's called the Cherry Blossom, and they put little cherry blossoms on the tongue, and I was like, I like that.
Air Jordan. Was it the low or is it the 38?
Yeah, I didn't look that closely at her feet.
Are you talking about these weird color blocked ones? The Kiki Rice?
Can I see them?
Babe, if you're going to do a section on sneaker news, you got to fucking do it.
Well, I just thought it was cool.
You got cherry blossoms on the bottom.
Okay, yeah, those are it. Because I just thought it was cool because they also did it for the 4s. The Jordan 4s have a cherry blossom. Those all pink ones that you liked.
That's what those were?
Yeah.
No, those are showing that's a grade school.
Or maybe they were. They did say grade school. You're right. But still women's sizes. For the littler feeders like myself.
Look, for future reference, when you're bringing a fucking topic to the table, you got to know. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you're about to talk about.
But that's the beauty that is me, is that
that you are unprepared.
I know what episode we're in with authority.
Okay, but we're talking about the topics. You got to make a topic. It's got to be, at least moderately thought out.
I'm just saying, hey, I feel like I give my fair share of kudos to Jordan Brand when they do a good job, and I thought they did a good job on these two particular colorways.
It would have been nice if you would have had images at the least. Because I remember seeing these Kyries and being like, babe, look, and you don't even can remember. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, you've seen them, right? And you're like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, dude, I showed you these days ago.
Days ago. Just days ago, I saw both of those shoes by Jordan Brand. So
how many screenshots of them did you take?
None. Zero. Zilch.
Come on, man. You got to be prepared, fool.
Anyways, tell me all about these Kyries.
I don't know shit about these, okay? All I did was see them on his feet, and they look fucking dope.
Okay.
Yeah, they looked sick. They remind me of the Kyries that I have, the Kyrie 6s, and I have those purple joints.
Okay.
That are suede in the back. You don't remember? Come on, man. It's got the midfoot strap and everything.
Do you know when they come out?
No. I know that they're supposed to release soon. I've been contacted by, I don't know how to explain it, but because it's not Anta specifically. It's kind of like the Wade brand with Li Ning, where there's Li Ning and then there's the Wade brand, just like there's Nike and then there's the Jordan brand. So with this thing, they're doing Anta and then there's the Clay line, right? The KT line, and that's directly under Anta. But Kyrie's line is a separate thing. Because Kyrie has say in all his products. He's got design rights. He's got I think he has some sort of ownership stake in his portion of everything. So that's why I don't know what they're going to call the shoe. Like I think it's going to be the Kai one, but I'm not really sure. But like either way, it's a different thing than just being an Anta product. But I was hit up a while back by somebody that was like a new hire over there, and he was telling me that he's like in charge of the marketing for the Kyrie side of the business. And so they're going to try to do like a US push again, which they've done a few times and unsuccessfully. But nowadays, like Chinese brands finally are starting to like, people are starting to wise up that like these companies are putting out better quality products than our mainstream brands, and they're doing it for less. They last indoors, they last outdoors, they got full length cushion and all of this stuff. It's just a more value for your money. But yeah, as far as, you know, the way that the shoe looks, they look amazing. As far as the way that they'll perform, I have no doubts that it'll perform really well, because I've been playing an Anta product since they were pretty we were just having this conversation with some friends, and one of them's literally from like the Hong Kong kind of like China area, and which are separate, but like that region. He was telling me how when he was growing up as a kid, Anta products were garbage, and I was like, yeah, they were like considered the Walmart versions of shoes like over there, and he's like, exactly. And so it's just really interesting to see how far they've come in like 15 years.
They've had a glow up.
A big glow up, yeah. Because like when I first started reviewing their products, it was when Rajon Rondo was on their roster, and he signed on right after KG signed on, because they were on the same team. And not to say that the Rondos were bad, because they weren't, at least not his like main shoe, but there were other versions of shoes with his name on it that were like head scratching, where I was like, why? They had shoes, dude, like with full length gel, like instead of air. Like they look like LeBrons with the full length air, but they were gel. That we have the videos on the channel somewhere. But those weren't bad either, but they also weren't like good. Like gel is hella dense, you know what I mean? Especially when it's like made for basketball and not like running, where like, you know, Asics packs it into their foam, so it's like an insert. And the gel in there is real minimal, and they have different styles. Like they'll have it like the ones on the outside are more stability gel, so it's like harder gel, whereas the ones on the inside are the softer gel. So like, you know, there's levels to it and stuff. But yeah, it's just really interesting, I guess what you would call it, the glow up. Like how quickly, I guess it's not quick. I guess that's the main thing. It's just that I've been around this brand for so long that like it feels like, whoa, you know what I mean? Once they signed Clay, that's when things started really going into a positive direction as far as like quality products and stuff, because he was a championship athlete at that point. So they really had to deliver championship level product, and they did. So like some of his shoes are amazing. Unfortunately, his play has dropped off since his injuries and stuff, so you know, he's not their main guy anymore. But Kyrie, the number one seller for Nike, is he going to be the number one seller now that he's not with Nike? And I think that that's going to be like really interesting to see, especially with them, like I said, doing a full-on push for the US. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't remember, because I know I asked them, but I don't remember what the answer was. But I can't remember if they're going to have storefronts, like actual like stores, or if they're just going to do a direct-to-consumer.com. I'm very curious to know how this is going to play out, because I think that if anybody can take Nike down to its knees and humble the out of them, which they need desperately, this is the guy to do it. Like, I think that Kyrie can their whole thing.
He's gonna Matumbo them?
No, because I mean, that's cute, but
it's my favorite thing to say.
yeah, he's not blocking them. He's
saying, get out of here.
But yeah, like I just think that like if anybody's gonna be able to disrupt them being such the overwhelming favorite of U.S. consumers, I think that he is the one that can do it. At least on the basketball side. The problem with Nike is that they hit every category. You know, from the top performance person all the way down to the basic level, just regular consumer that goes to factory stores, outlets, and, you know, the clearance stores and stuff like that. They hit all targets.
There's a shoe for everyone.
There's definitely like a shoe for everyone. So as much as I will say, like, stop making so much product, you're cannibalizing itself as a whole, which is true. It's not like they're not selling. I do not like this flavor. Did you guys know that there's a lime cucumber Gatorade? And I like cucumbers. I really do. And I like limes. I don't think I like them together. And I also don't think I like cucumber water.
I like cucumber water. Like when they
Like,
have it at a...
Try this thing.
No, I don't.
No, you got to try it now. You said you like cucumber water. Now you
I already
gotta
tried it.
When?
When you opened it.
No, because when I opened it, it was warm.
I know, that's when I tried it.
Bullshit. Sitting right next to you and you didn't try it.
Yes, I did.
Try it again. Let me see.
Anyways, I do like cucumber water. Like if you're at a spa and you need to get some water and they have little floating cucumbers in it, it's delicious. This smells like grass. Oh,
It tastes like cucumber, though. It's just not pleasing.
That was our unsponsored Gatorade ad.
Yeah.
Timeout.
All right, so the timeout segment, for those of you guys that are new, is exactly what it sounds like. It's a timeout from everything that we just talked about. Timeout from basketball, sneakers, all that stuff. We throw it all the way back to when we were little-ass kids and the first thing that we love, which is comic books, cartoons, action figures, films, all that kind of good stuff. So I love Masters of the Universe, especially as a toy line. The original show is maybe not the best. I will admit that. It's kind of like Power Rangers, you know what I mean? Like when you go back and look at it, you're like, whoa there, dude. What were you thinking? But it's fun, at least when you're a kid and stuff like that. But the main thing is that with Ninja Turtles, especially lately, you don't see them kind of like collab anymore, you know what I mean? Like back in the day, there was like Star Trek Turtles. Did I call it Star Trek? It's like Star Trek. Man, that's like I've been like messing up stuff lately. But so there was those. There was the Monster Universe, you know what I mean? And I've actually been picking those up. I probably should have shown those. There's one over there. It's from NECA. You can reach it.
I don't think I can.
That was the weakest try.
I got it.
Anyways, this is a throwback right here. This is Leonardo as the creature from the Black Lagoon. So, yeah, this is just really cool. But these are like premium figures. But these guys right here are really interesting because not only did they mash them up with Masters of the Universe, but these are actually made by Mattel. Yeah, that's like really weird because Playmates holds the license for like kind of like this style of turtle where it's like the cartoon, you know what I mean, like the original style stuff, like all of the animated and even some of the movie things, like at least the original ones when they're talking about like reissues of those. Obviously Super 7 has licenses for, you know, the movie versions, like the live action movies and the cartoons and stuff like that, and then everybody else got their other like licenses. Ninja Turtles is one of the most kind of like hoard out licenses that you can have. So yeah, but this one was just really interesting, and I love the way that they mashed these guys up with just the characters. So you have Donatello here. This is part of Wave 1 where he's you know, combined with Man-at-Arms. The line consists of, at least Wave 1 is Donatello, Leonardo, mutated He-Man, and Man-at-Arms, and then there's one deluxe figure per line, which I also grabbed, which is Trapjaw with the Mouser. Like it's like a combo.
It's Mouse Jaw.
Well, that's his name, but yeah, he's like combined with the Mouser. I actually don't like...
No kudos?
Huh?
No kudos?
Well, I mean, you just read it off the box right there. So no. I was cheating. You think I'm stupid? God, I even watched your eyes go right over there. I know where the toy is. Get out of here with that. Yeah, so the only reason why I bought the Trapjaw version is because it comes with a Build-A-Figure piece, which eventually, when all of those deluxe figures come out, they combined into a metal head, which is one of my favorite original action figures from the original 87 line. So, but yeah, this is Donatello. He's mashed up with Man-at-Arms. If you buy Man-at-Arms, you can actually combine their weapons together and make one giant-ass bow staff, which is cool. And then Leonardo here is really freaking cool. I originally thought that he was He-Man, because he even has the sword and it comes apart. Just like the original action figures where like Skeletor and He-Man each had, you know, the half of the power sword. But yeah, so it's got these. I don't like them separated though, because like the handles are like half of what they were. Anyways, I thought this was originally like He-Man. And then each of these, just like the original Masters figures, they come with like a mini comic book. And in the comic book, by the way, they've unveiled the majority of these characters, like these mashups, and the only one that they had not unveiled was Michelangelo, which I thought was weird. because he's usually most people's favorite turtle. He's one of mine. So like I was really excited to see him. I get the comic book, I open it up. Mikey is He-Man, and Mikey has He-Man's hair, and it looks dumb. Like I was like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean?
I was hoping like maybe they had like done like a Thor version, so like it was like luscious.
It is, but it's like a bob. You know what I mean?
Like Iron Claw.
Iron Claw? Oh yeah, with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks exactly like that, and but it's Michelangelo, and I was just like, who designed this? Like, like you couldn't have come up with anything better. And plus, He-Man's like the main hero in Masters, so you would think that the leader of the Turtles would be that character, like mashup.
Yeah, but like Mikey has his days in the sun.
Look, man, it was weird. Okay.
All right, for today's Jody's Corner, I'm not telling you a story. We're finally doing the big topic that we've been teasing.
I forgot about this.
Which is gatekeeping.
Yeah, gatekeeping.
And
are we keeping it classified to sneakers, or are we just going to do a broad one?
I'm going to just kind of like give my stance on it first. It is very much like anything that I guess can be enjoyed and consumed in bulk. Whether it be sneakers, whether it be movies, whether it be certain franchises. Like, I'll even like say, this is why I get so intimidated by Star Wars, because it's been around for so long, and there's not just the movies, there's the books, there's the comics, there's the everything.
Can I say what the dictionary claims is the definition for gatekeeping? Mm-hmm. It's the activity of trying to control who gets particular resources, power, or opportunities, and who does not.
Okay.
So there's one side of gatekeeping. Then it says, we are seeing the decline of cultural gatekeeping, which is the control over what is deemed worthy, exerted by critics, educators, and so forth. So it's like there's two different versions of gatekeeping. You know what I mean?
I can see that because...
Like one's by those creating.
Yes.
And then one's by those either buying or selling.
Okay.
What is being created. And I don't mean buying or selling as in like buying and reselling. I mean like buy or sell. Like this topic. Like, hey, this movie trailer just hit. Do you buy or sell? Like, are you into it, or you think it's garbage?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
We have a certain family member who, I'm not going to say exactly who it is. You know who it is. But everything is either 100% awesome, or it is 100% trash and like not worthy of anybody's time.
Is this me?
No.
Is that what you're alluding to?
You can fall in the middle about things. And I don't even remember what video it was, but it was like a joke in our videos for a while where I was like, can't it just be meh? Like, why does everything have to be instantly awesome or instantly crap? Like,
you can bleep this, but is it?
No.
No, really? Who the is it?
It's your.
Which one? Wow. You're gonna have to bleep each of those keywords. Okay.
So, but anyway, so I guess if we want to stay on topic when it comes to
how do you figure?
Oh my gosh.
Give me an example for this person. I'm sorry to take it. I'm sorry to. I'm genuinely curious.
It'll be more so like when it comes to like movies, or like him and I really enjoy. I just gave away like the gender, but
the gender.
They are not a ginger. We really enjoy books, and so like if he has a good one, he'll let me know, or he'll like be like, this was like complete trash, and I'm like, but I had a good time.
Okay,
like
I see what you're saying.
It's never a middle of the road, and so that's I guess
like, hey, it was fun, like a B movie.
Yes, like hey, I went and.
Like the Marvels. The Marvels was fun.
Right.
Was it great? No. Was it awful? No. It's just kind of.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So, and that all.
I don't mean to throw the Marvels under the bus. I'm just quick example.
That all ties into though the gatekeeping, so to speak. So like when it comes to, if we're going to talk about sneakers as the gatekeeping, there's the people who are like, you have to have been here for the beginning. You have to know every single detail, from designers to what date this was worn and sold and blah, blah, blah.
That's unrealistic.
And then there's the people like newbies or whatever who are like trying to come in and be like, I really like it too. And like you have the people who are like, no, you haven't been here from the beginning, or you haven't spent like the last 3 years consuming all the knowledge. And I just feel like it's kind of like sad, because don't you want other people to enjoy the stuff that you enjoy so that it can live on?
That I think is the most interesting facet of, what would you call it, like just genre, whether it's, comics or film or
That's what I'm saying. So like
whatever, shoes.
with the Star Wars, like I enjoy Star Wars. I enjoy like the newer stuff, which it was like blasphemous to say like
What do
say
you,
10 years ago.
what do you deem as newer stuff?
Like my first encounter with Star Wars is the ones with
The prequels?
yes.
Okay.
The second and third one, to be specific. So I really
Okay.
enjoy those ones. I don't really enjoy the first one at all, because I saw it like after. Like I didn't watch things in order. I watched things in order without watching things in order.
Okay, you have to define first, because when you say first one, I'm thinking A New Hope.
No.
Which is the original trilogy, so go by episode. Like
So
you're talking about
episode one, I
Okay.
probably watched after episode 6, I guess. Because I would have...
Really? Wow. You watched the very last. I don't count the sequels. The 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you watched the conclusion and then watched the beginning. Was that
Yeah.
with me?
Probably.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I definitely went and watched...
Because you watched those other two without me, right?
Yeah, I watched
Okay.
them in theaters. I spent my cold hard Little Caesars money to go up, buy myself tickets.
I was working at the theater when those came out. That was wild.
And so it's like, shouldn't we all be? It's better if we're all enjoying things and sharing the knowledge, I feel like, rather than keeping it and hating on all the extra stuff.
I just think that it's an interesting topic in general because everybody's new at something sometime.
That's the thing, and it makes it so like, if I, like, for example, we mentioned Iron Claw earlier. Prior to me sitting down and watching that movie, I knew nothing about, like, I literally went to watch that movie on pure recommendation and the fact that I enjoy Zac Efron. So that's why I went to go watch it. And then I spent the next week learning everything I could.
That was my fault, though.
What? No, I was doing it on my own as well. It wasn't
Is this
just
pre-watching the movie or after?
after.
You were?
Yeah.
About that family?
About that family.
Oh, okay.
And I know so much about that family. I know all about the extra brother. I know how they combine characters. I know, like, about children that had been had and lost in the family. I just know so much. But, like, prior to that, I didn't know anything. And I feel like
So you're isolating that to just the family? Because I took that as like wrestling as a whole.
I did also learn a lot about wrestling afterwards,
So-
but I'm just talking
And
about...
I think that is probably the main point of a gatekeeper. Is that you're staying in a finite
Yeah.
realm of a genre.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you're not even you're learning about something specific, but you're not learning about the context surrounding it. And I think that could bother somebody, like a purist.
That I'm learning more about the family than I'm learning
That
about the wrestling
that's your
moves.
beginning, middle, and end to wrestling culture. But that's not everything.
Oh, I know.
It's not even the beginning. It's not even close to it, right? So it's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, you know about the Von Erichs, but did you know this? And sometimes they'll teach it to you in a way that's like they're sharing their passion. And then other times they talk to you in a way that's condescending. And
Yes.
it makes you really kind of like off-put of the entire genre in general.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, so it's just, it's very interesting.
It's a lot like the Super Bowl's happening. Either if you're watching this right when it comes out, then the Super Bowl's tomorrow. If you're watching this later on in the week, the Super Bowl has happened, and so has won. And there's like these two groups of people who, or it's not just two, there's many groups of people, but like there are a lot of new fans watching the Super Bowl this weekend, all because of Taylor Swift.
And that right there is part of the lost in translation context, because a purist would say they're not fans.
Oh, I know. You're
They're
just
Swifties.
Yes. And there's like a lot of mean, negative energy on the internet about this. But then there's also the people who are like, no, this is great. Like, my daughters are coming and watching the game with me.
Right.
Like, you know, and it's just kind of like, you guys can like take any fandom any which way, but like, why would you ever want to take it the negative way when sharing is caring, guys?
I know. And it's really interesting because like I get told just based off of what I do is a mixture, right? Like sometimes I sound, and I understand where they're coming from when they say things like this, where I sound sometimes like an old man get off my lawn type thing. I don't mean to. I am simply explaining, like if we're going to talk about like the shoe that I'm wearing, the
Reimagine.
yeah, sorry. I'm trying to think of the
And four breads.
yes, the name of it that is current.
cements.
No, that's not the cements. You know what I mean? The cements are the white ones. So like that's exactly what I'm saying.
I almost called them concretes.
Good thing you didn't do that. They would have a field day with you. But you know, so there's the Jordan 4 Bread Reimagine. That's the official title, you know, per Jordan brand. And I was explaining in that video that like back in my day and all that stuff is this colorway, because obviously just the materials were switched up, so the colorway of the shoe is identical to the original, and they were just called black cements. That was it. It was very simple, you know what I mean? And
So cements was part of it.
yes, it's the gray. So like that's the thing that like a lot of people don't get is like the name of the shoe is the color name. It's not always like Jordan 1 Lost and Found. That's a name. Like that's a theme. You know, the overall colorway of the shoe is Chicago. Like it's the Chicago 1. And so, yeah, so there's, you know, there's different things to that. And so when all I was doing though was just explaining what we used to call it, how I don't ever remember, you know, and that's not me saying get off my lawn because I call these the bread reimagines because it's what they're called, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And so it's more for me like was a moment of, hey, there's a lot of new people that are unfamiliar with the shoe, unfamiliar with the brand, just hopping on to the current trend of them being popular. I was letting them know that this is a little bit of the history. That's all. I don't feel like I was being condescending. If I was, then I apologize. But like, I don't feel like I was, because I don't feel like I ever am condescending unless I'm being sarcastic or like satirical. And then that's usually on purpose. And usually I'm doing that in jest anyways. Like it's more of like when we call things like breads, and then there's black and royals, and people just simply call them royals. And I'm like, why don't we call them broil? You know, just satire. It's just poking fun at the absurdity of everything. The absurdity over seriousness is what it is. Is that like, because as soon as I say that, people are like, no, you idiot, you can't. And I'm like, dude, like if we're calling things bread, what the f is wrong with broil?
Why don't they just call them blues?
I don't know, because it's royal blue. Like I
know, but it's the blue.
I just
From the black and the ooh.
But that's what I'm saying is that the whole thing is just really dumb. So like, why don't we not take it so seriously and just around with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have a little bit of fun. And so that's all I'm really doing. But some people are so serious that they're just like, no, you guys. And then this other dude is like thinking that I'm making fun, and I'm not. I'm just messing around. You know what I mean? And so like, you can never really please like everybody. But to your point is when you're entering a genre for the first time,
it's new and it's exciting and it's daunting. And
then yeah, I was going to say it was daunting.
Over here who's like gonna pick at me for it. Like, do I really want to be a part of this area and learn all about it? You know, so I can.
Right, and I think that the natural, because there's levels to it. Obviously, like there's some people that are into it and they don't know why. They just know that it's cool and they want to be cool. They want to, you know, keep up with the Joneses. And I don't think that there's a problem with that. And again, there's levels to it. So like if we're talking about it from a brand perspective, obviously you're trying to capture that person as a customer, but you're also trying to capture them as a long-time customer. You're not trying to capture them as a one and done customer. So like, or short-term customer. So like personally, like if I had a footwear brand, like I'd want you to buy my product and be like, wow, this product's so amazing that I can't wait for the next one, or that I want to buy more colorways of this one, or whatever, you know what I mean? And so like there's that aspect of it, which is the business side of things. And I think that a lot of times these people in these positions are very short-sighted, especially these modern ones, because they were not there when the brand was up and coming and an underdog and all of this stuff, where they really had to fight tooth and nail to establish themselves as what they currently are. And now you have this new group of people, and this is a whole different subsect of gatekeeping where, you know, these new people don't respect anything that the old people did, and they're trying to switch everything up, and it goes against the entire DNA of what was established. Like, what do? You know what I mean? Like, it's really, it's crazy. There's so many ways to go from here. The gatekeeping aspect, it's like you not only have to think about what is gatekeeping, but then also your subsect of gatekeeping. So like as a Jordan fan, or it's so hard because it's like, are you really gatekeeping as a sneakerhead, or are you gatekeeping as a Jordan fan? Or a lot of people say like, oh, like sneaker culture started because of this, or sneaker culture started because of that. And for me, like everybody's different, right? So like some people saw Run DMC and they were rocking my Adidas, and they were rocking them with no laces. And if they were wearing laces like the B-boys, they were wearing fat laces. But that's a subsect of an entire community. Like maybe that was your introduction to footwear. But for me, it was through these guys on a basketball court. And I would argue, even though this is not like 100% fact-based or anything, this is strictly an opinion, but I would argue that sneaker culture started with basketball or with sport. Because without the athlete wearing the product and it being a signature name attached to a Michael Jordan or James Worthy or a Magic Johnson and a Larry Bird or Kareem or Wilt and Walt and all of these guys, like, why did you want the shoe in the first place? So like, there's that side of things, and then that translates to streetwear.
Was Wilt Chamberlain the guy who was on the Globetrotters?
I believe so.
And he had a signature shoe?
I don't know if Wilt had a signature shoe, but like he would wear product. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, so like that's another subsect of a subsect where it's like, hey, Scottie Pippen, he wore
the worm.
No, that's Dennis Rodman, man. Dang.
The Pippen. Wait, would you ask?
Yes, Scottie Pippen. Like
he had the Pippen 2s.
Well, I mean, there was a 1 before the 2, but yes. But like before all that, he wore, you know, Flights, and he wore Avia. He wore the 89 Air Flight Lows. Like he wore, he's most known for wearing the Air More Up Tempo. And a lot of people say that that's his shoe, even though it's not a signature shoe. But everybody saw Scottie in the ad. Yes. And that's what a Wilt is.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I said, there's like levels. There's so many facets to just sneakers, like just sneakers alone. And now that there's social media, we can all connect with each other. That was, I think, the when we go back and I sit there and be like, why do I do this? And I think that is the bottom line, is that who in my circle 15 years ago that I have to talk to about footwear?
Nobody.
There was just you.
Yeah.
You know, and no offense to you, but like, you're not really interested. You know what I mean? Yeah, you were cool and you listened, but like,
I am cool and I did listen.
You did, but do you care?
No.
Exactly.
But I know weird things like that there's a shoe called the Worm.
But you didn't know who the Worm was. You know what I mean? But that's okay, you know? Because then that leaves the door open for me to be like, hey, babe, there's this weird dude. His name was Dennis Rodman. He's the greatest rebounder of all time.
The guy who was with Carmen Electra?
And that right there, isolated to my isolated. And then we tell each other. And now we both are kind of like, oh, we're more enlightened.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's really where things should go. And unfortunately, that's not where things go. Instead, people want to bicker and whine and moan and talk to each other and start calling each other names. I'm just like, bro, that's not even cool. Like, that's not even fun. You know what I mean? you know, we were talking about a sneaker here, or, you know, we were talking about Star Wars here, or, you know, we were talking about. Like, bring Star Wars back into the subject of gatekeeping. And it's just like, this is fantasy, bro.
Right.
It's not even real.
Right.
You guys are fighting over that's fake. That's not just made up, but made for corporate dollars. Like, it's made to sell to you.
Now.
Well, I mean,
I feel like originally it was a passion project.
Originally, it definitely was a passion project, but the way that it's morphed,
yes.
Okay, it's a money-making powerhouse.
Yes.
Why are we gatekeeping this? None of us even own that. And do you know how dumb that makes us all look when we all like the same things?
Yeah.
And we can't even get along?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I think that gatekeeping is really weird. If I ever come across as a gatekeeper, like I said, I really do apologize, like, sincerely, because I never want to. And you know this personally, because that's just how I am. Like I said, you're not interested in shoes, but you sure know a lot of stuff about shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not because I gatekeeped all that information. It's because I gave it to you anyways. And I don't want to like shove it down people's throat or anything like that. But like, and maybe that's the part where like people will consider that gatekeeping. But like, I don't really think sharing knowledge is considered gatekeeping. You know what I mean?
Well, so my whole thing is like when I sit down and I decide to share a story or give you some facts, I know for a fact that I don't know all there is to know about this.
Right.
And there is a lot of holes in what I'm telling you. And a lot of times you find them because you ask me questions and I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. But I do feel like that's where the balance should be, is the people who do know things should come to the table and share what they know. And then the other person, maybe they know a little bit that you don't know. And so by talking,
But
everybody
then,
gets to know more.
and you still have to include the person that doesn't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh,
It's not so like yes, there's the person that knows, there's the person that knows maybe not as much but a little, and then there's the person that knows nothing. They're new here.
yeah.
But that person probably has ideas.
Or questions, and like it'll make
It'll
it so
spark
that
an idea.
those people then go, well, let me look into that.
Right. That's where a lot of this product starts. It starts with a problem. Not a literal problem, like how do we solve, world hunger or whatever. It's not like that. It's more so like, how do we get it to where this athlete can be faster or can, jump higher, or how do we
Not
shave
get
off
a
some weight?
blister in this area.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's those types of problem solving that you need. And you cannot even get to that point to where you acknowledge the problem if you're gatekeeping. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think that once people start to realize like, hey, you were once a rookie too.
Yes.
I think that
There's a beginner in all of us.
right.
It doesn't matter
Where's
that
the
you've been
empath-
here
the
for 20
empathy?
years.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So
And I think that that's the thing. Like rookie hazing. Every rookie goes through it, man. You ain't different. You ain't special. Every rookie goes through it, and then you become the vet, and then you get to do it to the next generation. And so, I think that should be the main focus. Is like, how do we keep moving forward in a positive direction, learning from one another, and really cultivating that. That's the only way that this is going to work. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, it's constantly going to be like complaining and whining and nothing getting done. This gatekeeping thing spreads across all subjects.
all of them.
It doesn't matter if it's politics, comic books, movies, whatever, shoes, basketball, football, music. It doesn't matter, dude. Like, there's so much stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and there's history behind all of it. And if you're genuinely interested, and this is the thing, I think that's something too, is to keep in mind, is like, you can tell who's genuinely interested in something.
I wouldn't even put the word genuine there. There are levels of interest.
That's what I mean. So like somebody, like, if again, just keeping it to sneakers, if somebody's just into sneakers because of Panda Dunks, because it's the current cool thing, and then maybe next year it's the Adidas Samba, a shoe that's 70 plus years old.
It
you
is
know?
the shoe of 2023, so
Right.
don't take their award away from them.
Hey, and they're coming out with some bangers. And that's somebody's entry point. And then once they're out of high school, cool doesn't matter anymore.
It's so refreshing.
No, it really is, because that's when you start to like really find yourself. You know what I mean? I think that you get lost in the muck of
I don't
stuff.
think you really find yourself until you're in your 30s. And then you remember all the things that used to make you happy that you were slightly embarrassed by, but you no longer have to be embarrassed by it because you're just living your life.
Although I've been like this since day one.
Oh, I know.
I have never been embarrassed by anything that I like, because I genuinely like it.
I'm just saying, for the rest of the world, you don't have to be so closeted about the things that you can geek out about.
And I think that that's like the important thing. Like you're saying, like I'm saying, like there's really is like levels to this. There's like, once high school is done, a lot of people into sneakers are no longer into sneakers. They got to buy them themselves. And then they realize that they're expensive and that they don't need X amount of pairs in every color and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, you're fortunate that your parents will be able to do that for you. Then you got the flip side where somebody like us, where like our parents didn't do that. You know what I mean? So now we come out of it and being like, hey, I make my own money and I can make my own rules and I can buy anything that I feel like. You know what I mean? And you sometimes take advantage of that. And again, like you bring all those people together, just talk to each other, have fun. Maybe it's the social media aspect of it the anonymity that allows people to be brazen enough to be a dick.
I guess.
When in person, I can almost guarantee you that nobody's really like that. Like, nobody's really, like, getting mad that you don't know this stat about something that, like, y'all are all into. And like,
I know.
Like, it'd be more of a, did you know? You know what I'm saying? Like your worm comment. I know there's a guy called the Worm. Great. Here's his name. You know what I mean? Like now you know. You can put that in your back pocket.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So it's just, you know, I don't know. I think that gatekeeping is dumb. Do I think that it'll ever go away?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's also human nature to kind of like mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all that stuff, kind of like people that are into bands, like before they're mainstream. Like that's like a hardcore version.
That's like a, what do we joke about calling them? A core memory? That's like a negative core memory I have.
Right. Because speaking of...
and I'm sure every single...
being in person,
yes.
Right? Like a face-to-face, that's the one where like they're like about it.
Yeah.
They're like, you like, and you're just like, man, you dude. Like, get
Damn
out of
straight
here.
I like Blink-182.
That's not real punk. Sorry, but it is. And they're the most popular too. So like you can take that suck on it for a minute, because like numbers don't lie, homie. You know what I mean? So yeah, like it's just real weird. Blink is actually a good example. We went to the Blink concert when they got back together. It was my first time seeing them in person. I don't think it was yours, or was it Charles?
Well, no, Charles and Melissa have seen them before.
I know. So was it both of our first times? I thought that you had seen them.
I have
once.
seen them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it was my first time. They had all seen Blink before, and
Shoreline, on the grassy hill.
but like I was in there, and I was kind of like, not starstruck, but like
he was mesmerized.
I just couldn't believe that, because you know, you got to look at, or that's how I was thinking, is like little me or younger me was like I couldn't really go to concerts, like I couldn't afford them. So like the ones that I would go to was like stuff like BFD, where it was like pretty reasonably priced, and there was hella bands.
Yeah.
And you just kind of had to pick which
you had to like bounce
stage,
around.
Yeah, you had to pick which stage you were going to, and you know, really stick to it. So like I never got to see them, so I was more like, wow, like for me it felt like a once in a lifetime thing, where like I was like, damn, I'm like really, I feel real fortunate to be here and stuff. So it was kind of like a slap in the face of like where I've been to where I'm now. And I think that's how you end up, you know, appreciating and knowing yourself when you're 30, because you remember the different lifetimes that you've had up until then, which are wild, or they can be. But like it was refreshing seeing so many different age groups in that concert, from old people, like people older than us, to young kids. Like it was like
families.
Yeah, it was fun, you know what I mean? And like that's how community should be, you know what I mean? So like, and that could be a different topic altogether, like sneaker community and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't know if you can necessarily be a community when it's all about corporate stuff.
Well, I feel like we can keep going. We could, and we have to segue out. The fact that there's so many thoughts, and there's so many more thoughts that could be said about it, because it is a big deal. But
well, I mean, it's
not a big deal. It's
a big deal, but it's not a big deal. And I think that's the part that people need to remember. It's like, dude, can you just relax?
Yes, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, just enjoy.
It's supposed to be fun.
You know, like if you got a question about shoes, hit me up. I will talk to you about it. I will probably talk too much to you about it, to the point to where you'd be like, actually, I don't think I like shoes like you do.
Okay, so our good friends, Melissa, when if she has like a question where it's kind of like computery related, or we'll just leave it at computers.
Right, and I know that all of y'all know somebody like this.
She'll say to her husband, she'll be like, hey, I have a question about blah, 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 but give me the answer in 2 minutes, because he knows so much and will give the history.
I've done this to her husband, where he asked me one thing about footwear, and I talked to him for at least 30 minutes about it. And I can see it on his face, but I can't stop my mouth from moving.
And that's the thing. Like, I'll ask him questions. We hang out all the time, and it will have gotten to the point where like he doesn't realize that like, hey, she already got her answer. You've gone off too far, and she'll be like, hey, like,
right. And that's the person in your genre that is just here temporarily, and you got to be cool with that.
Yeah.
Like there ain't nothing wrong with a passerby, you know, type of person and stuff, who's just here for a moment.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
I could smell the grass from here.
It's the quenchiest. But yeah, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I just found it interesting that there's two sides to gatekeeping in general. You know, there's that corporate side and then there's that consumer side. And I think that both sides are dumb. Could you imagine if both those sides came together? Like if people at the corporate level entrusted people at the consumer level to actually be symbiotic to one another and listen to one another. Because that's what I've always said in the beginning. It's like, hey, Jordan Brand, if you're just honest with your consumer, the consumer then has a choice to accept or deny what it is that you're doing. Like when you're just telling the truth, nobody could really be mad outside of like, well, I just don't really want that. That's cool. Bring me a burrito. What's in the burrito? Tell me everything that's in there. I will tell you if I now want the burrito.
And that it's a salad.
No, that guy.
Anyways.
Talk about gatekeeping. That guy took all the food and put it into salads. That's an all-consuming gatekeeper. That fool. And I say that jokingly. I don't really care.
What video is that in?
I don't even know.
I'll put the thumbnail for the people who are actually watching so you can understand that whole salad comment. But anyways, we do need to take off. We're done. We're leaving. I will let you guys know, and this is brand new information to this guy over here, but next week we will have a break in our podcasting, so we'll be back in 2 weeks, but there is a special surprise next week, so do look forward to that.
What is it?
I'm not telling you. It's a special surprise. Get excited. Now sign us off.
No, I need to know this surprise.
No.
Are you being for real?
I am being for real.
What does it revolve around? What is this? It's not even my birthday.
I know. That makes it even a better surprise.
I don't like this. So, yeah, you're gatekeeping.
I am. I am gatekeeping.
You're gatekeeping. I think that's going to be my new phrase. They're like, you're gatekeeping. I'm just going to call everybody a gatekeeper. Hey, man, don't gatekeep. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye.